I just want to take a quick moment to tell you some of the reasons why Protoss is the hardest race to play, and why is it the race for the most intelligent humans on the planet. First of all, you can only build your unit production buildings on pylon-powered areas. This is something Terran has advantage in, as they can build almost anywhere on the map. While Zerg needs creep for buildings, you can still build your unit production areas anywhere, so they are on par with Terran on that regard. Also, Terrans can repair their workers and also have more health than probes, and Zerg can regenerate from one hit point to full, whereas a probe can only regenerate half their health. This brings us to the units of Protoss, and this is where the wheels really fall off. Zealots are slow melee units, and it's hard to get close to enemy units and deal damage, and they aren't even that tanky when the armies get huge. The Dragoon is the most unmicrobial unit in the game. They bump into each other constantly and are just very unresponsive overall. This brings us to the second tier units. Protoss really doesn't have many second tier units to beef up their army. Making tons of Reavers doesn't make sense because they are so freaking slow. Dark Templars are more of a tactical play units, so they shouldn't really be in the midst of fighting usually. This brings us to the capital ship of the Protoss army, the carrier. While carriers are strong, they are extremely difficult to tech into, since if the opponent knows in advance that you are going into carriers, they can just make some Goliaths, and you can't make carriers against Zerg at all, since they will just get shat on. So as Protoss, you have to play the game with the bulk of your army being consisted of Tier 1 units, Zealots, and Dragoons, and that's exactly what they are, Tier 1 units. Meanwhile, Zerg and Terran have amazing Tier 2 units to make up the bulk of their army. Lastly, I want to touch on the High Templar. Just like carriers, High Templars are actually good units. But the problem is that you need 2 upgrades to make them viable. The Psionic Storm, which is their main spell, needs to be researched. You also really need the Caterin Amulet to start with an extra plus 12 energy and plus 50 Maxium energy. It takes a lot of time for them to become active. It is quite easy for Terran and Zerg to do a timing attack before Psionic Storm comes online. So, in conclusion, Protoss is the most difficult race in Brood War to maneuver yourself into victory with how many obstacles you have to surpass to win a game.